Hi, I'm Minus, and welcome to my autistic obsession. The very first social deduction game, Werewolf or Mafia, depending on what you grew up with, was made in the mid 1980s by a Russian professor called Dmitry Davidov for his psychology class, involving a group of people sitting in a circle with roles being assigned by an orator, then running through a day-night cycle with daytime spent discussing suspects and ending with people voting on whether or not to vote somebody out. Nighttime was spent, however, by the werewolves or the mafia by choosing one person in the group to kill. Rinse and repeat the day-night cycle until either the amount of mafia players or werewolf players match the amount of innocent people left, or the mafia and werewolves were voted out. Now, with the history portion of the video out of the way, I think we can all agree that until Among Us was released and became Game of the Year in 2020, well, we had nothing to do except, I don't know, maybe spend all of our time inside and jerk. That social deduction games were a fun one-time party game that you played every now and then. But ever since it became popular, the social deduction game has been revitalized and has been thriving. That brings me to the crux of this video. What if the social deduction game was a bit more American? What if it had weirder roles? And what if you got called the N-word every 5 seconds?
Just like
My name is
fucking
Forrest
jumped
Gump.
up and
And I hate
appeared.
Jews, I hate bags, and I hate Jews.
Yup, we hate niggas and Jews.
This is Pavlov Shack, a game made by Bankrupt Games, released in 2017 and then ported to Meta headsets in 2021, and just last year was fully released on the Meta Store. But I'm here to talk about one thing in this video, and that is the greatest game mode ever made. It's Pavlov's own version of a social deduction game, and in fact, it may be familiar to most of you. It shares a name with a popular Gary's mod mode. It's This game has taken over my life for about 3 years now, and having spent hours nearly every night goofing around in Pavlov, almost always being in TTT, has made me very well versed in its functions. Your standard TTT server includes 2 to 10 people and a map that the host picks, either custom or default. Then, depending on how many people are on the server, roles will be assigned. Speaking of, let's talk about the different roles that you can get, starting with...
What are you doing?
Hmm?
What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Your one and only goal as a trader is to kill anyone not on your team, obviously. But you can go about it really any way that you want. As a trader, you are given a plethora of utility at your disposal to kill everyone. This includes C4, 50 cals, knives, etc., etc. These are all bought using a submenu that you can access after the round begins. Buying these items costs credits. Stock traders are given 2 credits at the beginning of the round, while variants are only given 1. I'll go over the other traders in a minute, but first let's get credit acquisition out of the way. You can gain more credits by killing other players, or your teammates killing other players, or searching bodies of players that would have credits on them. This includes the detective, lone wolf, and the mercenary. Now that we have stock trader out of the way, we can move on to the assassin and the hypnotist. At the beginning of the round, the assassin gets a list of names and a knife. If they kill everybody on that list, the round will instantly end as a win for the traders. The best course of action that you can take as an assassin is to communicate with your teammates who your targets are and position yourself correctly and time your kills correctly. This will make your job a lot easier. Lastly, we have the hypnotist. At the beginning of the round, you are given an odd-looking gun. This gun can revive innocent players and revive them as a trader. Revive players have 70 HP and now have access to the trader buy menu. Revive players will help the traders win the round, obviously. Now, an interesting win condition that the traders have is that all the traders can be dead and still win the round, as long as the last 2 people alive kill each other at the exact same time. This also applies if the last trader gets killed at the same time as they kill the last person alive. It's an interesting win condition, but I can see how it is. The goal is to kill everybody in the server, not survive. There can be up to 3 traders per round, but that requires a full lobby. 2 traders if there are 6 people, and only 1 for 5 and below. Now, with the traders out of the way, we can move on to... With the detective, we have 3 different variants: stock, sheriff, and the stock detectives get 2 credits at the beginning of the round, while the variants only get 1. There can only be 1 detective per round, but the server requires 4 people at a minimum in order for 1 to be assigned. But there is a chance that there will not be a detective assigned regardless of how many people are in a server. Your job as a detective is to keep the innocents alive and kill all the other evil roles. You gain more credits as a detective by you or innocents killing evil roles, or the soulmate, which is something else that I will cover later. You can also check bodies that have credits, just as the traders can. All roles that have a buy menu can do this. The detective has access to his own host of items, which have very few items that overlap with the traders, with the main differences being the golden gun, which can one-shot any evil role, the medkit, and the riot shield. Word of advice for anybody that plays this mode: if you're trying to kill the detective and he has a riot shield, a medkit, and a vector, buy the pulse gun and bitch slap that thing out of his hands. It automatically drops the shield for them, and you can spam it as much as you want, and they can't pick it back up. Trust me, it works. Now, back to the detective. The sheriff variant gets a pair of handcuffs and a taser. I'll get you, bitch! Hitting a person with the taser makes them drop everything in their inventory. Knives, guns, gadgets, which is incredibly useful if you have a trader running at you with a knife, or they're trying to become the next Timothy McVeigh. Lastly, we have the tank. At first, you'll think it's a very straightforward variant. With boosted armor, you can take a lot more punishment to the body, but can still be headshot. And you'd be right. Except I have seen so many tanks buy shields, the Chris Vector, and the medkit, which is why I gave you that warning earlier to use the pulse gun. And it's because of these people. Tangent aside, the tank is an incredibly beginner-friendly role and is an experienced player's best friend. With that being said, we can move on to the majority of what the players in the game will be assigned. The Don't kill me! Innocents don't really have any special gimmicks. Rather, your greatest asset is your intuition, your aim, and your game awareness. Communication is also very important for making sure that the person next to you isn't trying to put a bullet in your head. And aside from that, there isn't really much else to being an innocent. Now, on to... Mercenary is the innocent version of a trader, in the sense that he has access to much of the buy menu items that the traders do. The only difference being is that he only gets 1 credit at the start of the round, and he isn't trying to kill everybody. But same as the detective, you can only get credits after an evil role dies to an innocent role. Now, you want to be careful when buying items. If someone catches you buying something and they don't know that you're a mercenary, or you end up pulling out a weapon from the buy menu that only traders and mercenaries can buy without explaining yourself first, you might end up...
Hey, shoot that guy.
People tend to shoot first, check bodies later, or never. There can only be 1 mercenary per round, and it usually starts spawning in around 6 people in the server. Now, our final innocent role, the...
I saw gay, so I said gay. That ain't bullying, that's an astute observation.
Soulmate isn't exactly innocent. They can be soulmates with any role, evil included, but most often they'll be paired with an innocent role. There can only be 1 soulmate per round. Soulmate is able to kill anyone that they want to, so long as their soulmate is still alive, and they won't lose karma, which we will also get to the concept of karma later. As a soulmate, your job is to protect your soulmate so long as they are alive. The second they die, you get a radar ping on the person that killed them. Now, if you know the person that killed your soulmate is innocent, I would highly recommend not killing them. You will lose karma. That being said, feel free to do so at your discretion. Now, with the last of the innocent roles done, we can move on to... Lone Wolf is what it sounds like. You're on your own team. You have access to the buy menu with a couple of things added from both the traders and the detective, such as the medkit and knives. But you only get 1 credit at the start of the round, and you can only get more credits by checking bodies, which means that you need to be proactive about your movements and kills, because the sooner you can get all of your equipment, the better your chances of survival are. Jester is one of my favorite roles to play, and it is also one of the quickest ways of getting anybody to rage. As a Jester, you cannot kill innocent players. Well, you can. You'll just kill yourself in the process via cardiac arrest. However, if you shoot at either an evil roll or a soulmate, you won't take damage. Now, if you kill the soulmate, you will still die, because while they are a neutral roll, they still have a green marking for whatever reason. But if you kill an evil roll as a Jester, you're free to keep going. In fact, nothing makes a TTT player angrier than getting killed by the Jester when they're an evil roll. However, the traders know who you are and are given a pink icon above your head letting them know that you're the Jester. Plus, if people see you take damage after shooting them, most players know that you're the Jester and won't shoot back. Now, if you end up being the only evil roll left, you will, most of the time, be given a radar with a 30-second cooldown showing you where the last people are, so you can have a nice chat with them. Now, if you do end up being killed by an innocent roll, you will respawn as the psychopath. You get regenerating health after not taking damage for a while, and the previously mentioned radar ping. There is a catch though. Everyone knows who you are now. You get a big pink icon above your head telling everyone where you are, and though it is not visible through walls, I still think it's a very big disadvantage regardless. But that being said, the Jester is still a very enjoyable role, and that brings me to our final role. Zombie is, again, another straightforward role. You get a knife and are told to infect as many people as possible. Now you can take the reduced approach of zooming in and stabbing as many people as possible. Or you can take things slow and stab people that are too far from the group or people that are just alone and oblivious. People that you stab drop their weapons and become infected and revive a few seconds after they are stabbed. They get 70 HP and a knife. Zombies win by being the last remaining team during the round. Pretty standard stuff, but it's fun stabbing a bunch of people and creating a horde of zombies. Now, with all the roles out of the way, let's talk about stock weaponry. TTT has a lot of weapons available, but you get a random setup every round outside of a few exceptions, which I'll go over in a minute, but in the meantime, I'll go over each weapon in the respective categories. Rifles include the M4, Galil, AK-12, AUG, M1 Garand, SKS, STG-44, AWP, M16, and the SCAR H. Heavy weapons include the M590, the Trench Shotgun, and the BAR 1918. SMGs include the PP-19 Bison, the MP5, AS-VAL, FAMAS, PPSH-41, UMP-45, P-90, VZ-61 Scorpion, Uzi, AR-9, and the Draco. Pistols include the Deagle, Beretta, FN-57, Smith & Wesson 500 Revolver, Tech-9, and the Glock 18. Now, all that being said, there are 3 exceptions to the randomizer. The Uzi will always be paired with another Uzi or the AWP, and the Scorpions will always be in pairs. That being said, if you do not like the loadout that you have, you can always open up your menu as if you would be leaving the game and press the side button. Fuck, I hate censorship. But if you do press that button, please press it before the round begins, because if you press it after the round begins, you will not respawn. And if you do respawn, you will get a new loadout most of the time. Now, before we wrap things up here, there are a few miscellaneous things that I would like to talk about. Firstly, karma. The karma system is very simple. If you're good and you kill someone bad, you gain karma, and vice versa if you're evil. If you're good and you kill someone else that's good, you lose karma. This also applies to traders shooting and or killing their own teammates. If you lose too much karma, you will be subsequently booted from the server. You can join back once, but if you slip up again, it will boot you again, and this time you cannot re-enter the server until it fully resets. Secondly, funny strategies. C4 dive bombing. gaslighting, and wallbanging. Do you have a 22 rifle? You have a 22 rifle, okay. Cool. Try them. They're a lot of fun. Lastly, as you may have noticed from the background footage, there are quite a few things different from how I described it. When Pavlov became available on the Metastore, they also opened the floodgates to hundreds of mod creators. So, as of now, you can boot up Pavlov and have up to 10 mods per server, not including custom servers that are privately owned, and get dozens of different outcomes, whether you are playing TTT or any other game mode. There are even entire custom game modes, such as Resurgence, which is an entire custom mod based around the extraction shooter Escape from Tarkov, and RP servers.
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that? What's that, brother?
Mods can make this game so much more fun, but I do recommend playing vanilla for your first time trying out Pavlov. There we go. Time to make some people immediately click off this video. Now, as many of you have noticed, or not noticed, I don't really care, I am what people call a furry. As you would expect, some people don't like getting their asses handed to them by fur. So I'd like to end this video with a preview of what's coming next in this video series, as well as some of my favorite clips, and if you stick around to the very end, I have a special message for getting that far. Enjoy. Get me up. Oh, come on.
It's been a year, Daddy. I really miss you. Mommy says you went to the store to get milk. Anyways.
I want to rip that guy's corneas out and use them as golf balls. Oh. Yep, psycho. Yep, I see the psycho.
I was shotgun, I don't really know why.
I got him! Dude, I was on the roof, I dropped down, and golden gunned him through the wall.
If you don't catch this, I will die. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, now if you don't catch this, I will die, okay? What's up, other people?
Yo, Minus, can I tap? Dude, imagine if that's a minor, bro. Why would you ask that?
Vermont parking lot. Oh, I have this glitch. Myself. That's an insane call out. TDM glitch? Myself?
I'm too tall!
Is that swag or something? My soulmate, you son of a bitch.
Kidding. Why are you shooting?
Ooh, mama. Oh, I see him. Come here, buddy boy.
The fucking owner of Pavlov did.
I wanted to shut that guy up. I just wanted to shut that guy up.
Something? Why'd he cut off?
Assassin.
Mini Mintus is fucking still alive.
Mini Mintus.
Who shot?
My life alert is a double barrel shotgun. And it's not to alert me, it's to alert you to your demise. I'm about to bust. I'm gonna staple your nuts to my desk. Not perfect.
Hello, Minus Mortis. Oh, my friend. Nice to see you.
I knew where he was going.
Yeah, what? What did he do? Like, he kills me a lot, but what did he do?
I wanted to take the last moments of this video to thank everyone who has made this project possible so far. Without them, I wouldn't have made this in the first place. Please check out Pavlov for yourself if you haven't, and I will see you soon.